Welcome to the bold analysis. Today I am a very disappointed man. And I am disappointed by a position that is being given out there by the Anglican Church, and that was delivered through Jackson or Sapit in Narok. That, to me, is not a good position we are in. We can never drop our fight for democracy and justice. As people always say, without justice, any peace is cosmetic. Without justice, democracy cannot be celebrated. And Sapit is demanding, he's saying something. Listen.
Kuna kesi ambazo zimewekwa kotini na wale ambayo walisikia pengine wana sababu ya kusema hawaja shindwa na kesi hiyo ambazo zinaendelea kotini. Hiyo ndio tumekuja kukaa chini kama jamii na tunasema tungetaka kuomba yeyote ambaye ameweka kesi juu ya mwingine katika jamii hii kotini kwa sababu ya mambo ya siasa na uchaguzi uliopita. Tumekuja kukaa chini viongozi hao wote na kusema tuondoe kesi hizo ili tuweze kutafuta namna na mbinu ambayo tutakaa chini tena baada ya hii kutafuta umoja ya wale wote ambao wanaongoza, kwa sababu tuna imani na tunaamini ya kwamba watu wakikaa pamoja wataweza kufanya mambo yao makubwa na kuachieve katika nyanja zote ambayo watakuwa wanaendelea. Lakini watu wakitengana itakuwa ni mfurutano ya hapa na pale na hakuna mtu atanufaika, na watoto wetu wale wamesaliwa na hawajasaliwa watakosa nafasi ya kulia.
Now, the reason why this is a bit disturbing is this statement from the Anglican bishop, Anglican Archbishop, is consistent with the way he handled situations in Bomas of Kenya the day results were being announced. Of course, people who followed Kenyan politics understood that there was a bit of that fracas between a section of Azimio and Wafula Chebukati, and unceremoniously after, of course I don't support it, but after Wafula Chebukati was ejected from that podium, he came and in what was perceived as a peace mission, he was really criticized that he actually supported what to many people was not the right position. These are not my feelings. It's in public. This kind of disappointment is in public. And so, by that time, there was a perception that, look here, doesn't he see that there is a point on what the opposition front was saying? Now, while in Narok, he's making that statement, and he said that clip that he's speaking first as also a church elder, someone from the church, and of course he was speaking also on behalf of Narok because I think he's from Narok, if I'm not wrong. So, it is not that his statement could be in good faith on one end that we want peace or we need things to move on. I've always wondered one thing, and I think politicians just like taking unfounded complaints. Because if you are a governor or you are an MP and you have a court case, how does that affect you from implementing what is the county integrated program plan? How does that affect you from how does that affect your county assembly from giving you a supplementary budget to do what you promised in the campaign trail? Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto in 2013 came in power while ICC was on their yoke. Never in even their campaign trail in 2017 later, or not anywhere during their first term, did they ever complain that, of course, they complained, but it was not like things never stalled in this country, that things are not moving or developed governments are not working because the two senior most leaders in the country are implicated in ICC. So, Sapit is making a point, but I disagree on some foregrounds. I want to humbly request you to subscribe to our channel, and also subscribe, click the notification bell, and like our video. Yes, I'm also urging you that yes, it has been long now. People have been asking Kevin your number where's your number in the comment section, so I've also pinned my number there for tea. Thank you for some, of course, nataka nikitangaza mtu akisema kikubali, so those who've been sending, I want to say thank you. But of course, I've pinned my number there, so come and send in coffee. But then Nairobi ni baridi. If you come to Nairobi, make sure you come with very heavy sweater. Where aren't we really talking about corruption? It's very bad that we are saying that let's drop the petitions against other leaders, while at the national stage some high-profile cases are being dropped. It really shows that maybe what the man of God is saying is that we should not really push or fight against corruption. It actually shows church as a compromise or a weak link in the fight against corruption. Because some of these election petitions borders on corruption, where an IBC official commits an offense because he's bribed. That's it. And there are many things. So this voice is not a very good voice in this critical point in time, especially from a leader of high profile as him. And that's why I'm taking, like, we are not giving a very good, it's not a very good start to say that let those petitions on. Of course, it can be done. We appreciate of negotiated or maybe out of the court resolution. Instead of us talking about that, then we would say, let's go out of court resolution. But out of court resolution, I am against it for one thing. It is one thing that it will create some sort of a very conducive working relationship between the sitting governor and the opponent. Let me tell you, the governors need a very strong accountability. Check. They need to be checked. The person that can check the governor is his competitor. In Narok, for example, Kenta is pro-ODM. Senator is pro-ODM. The governor is UDA. Now if you bring Kenta and Tutu together, who's going to check Tutu? County Assembly can be compromised. But a voice that is outside, I remember in 2014 when I studied in Masamara University, so I'm so passionate about Narok. By that time, Tutu was organizing protests in Narok town, kutoka people who know Narok from Total, kiteremka hapo chini, up to the other side of Shell, all the way to town. By that time, Tutu was not even an MCA, and he pushed governor. And so if he could use this opportunity, that time Tutu was facing off in Tunai. I know someone is asking about the current, Tutu is the current governor, particularly Tutu. He was a very strong critic of the former immediate governor, Tunai. So that happened because that conducive environment, and that environment was there. So the other aspect that is here is we cannot subvert the call for justice. The message is on our democracy. We cannot defile our democracy in the platform, or rather in the altar of friendship. That we need to work as friends. So we cannot, I think on this one, we need to look, because without justice there will be no peace. Do you know that a revolution must not start at Nairobi or at the national stage? A revolution cannot start at the county level, where people feel things are not going on right. Our will was not really well served. We don't have a unifying factor. We are not part of this. And that happens. The tragedy would be if it starts at national, then it goes at the counties. It's a big problem. How can we drop election reforms? Ole Sapit could also insinuate, this statement could also insinuate that he is not really optimistic on election reforms. These petitions actually will unearth the misdoings, or rather the underdeals, as far as our elections are concerned. There are very shocking revelations from those petitions. They are very shocking revelations. Where I think there was one petition that I read where, and it's good one. I think that is in an MC, I think in Moja, where someone says election at election results, and I think there's a nomination that the results were only declared in some polling stations where the opponent led, but where I was leading, or not, I was not on the ballot, where candidate X was leading, results in that place, someone disappeared with them. You know, that's a valid point. And we have the challenge in our election is human involvement. You cannot give bribe to the BVR kit. You cannot give bribe to the ballot paper that I'm bribing you now, Sasa, take for me, make sure I win. No, the person that is bribed is the human involved in it. And because of human involvement is prone to error, it is the human that is being taken to court. A ballot paper is not being taken to court. It is the returning officer, presiding officer, clerk, and here and there. So this thing is here. And when we encourage these things to go, because it also gives legitimacy to the governors or the leaders. When I challenge your win in a court of law, and a court finds you not guilty, innocent, you will still run to the people and say, guys, there was this and this, and we found it that was guilty. I was not guilty. With that, it boosts even legitimacy, both way of your win. Whether it's cancelled, we go back to a by-election, and you know, sometimes some leaders impose themselves on people because they are within the trappings of power. That is also what we must agree. There's some people that are MCs, the MPs and governors and senators, simply because they were close to the trappings of power, and they exploited those avenues to get the positions. We should never underrate the spirit of our constitution. Let's meet tomorrow, and by the way, I'll be glad to receive your tea. Yes. Sarah is doing well. Those who have been asking me, I was with Sarah today. She's opening her YouTube channel, and so I'll share the YouTube channel here so that you guys can check out on her and the way she's pulling. I know she's having a very beautiful story about how you guys Team Board helped her. So check out. We will share that YouTube in our community.